Okay, next story here is from the True Off My Chest subreddit and is titled, My Neighbors Abandoned Their Daughter in Another City and Told Her to Find a Way Home Herself. Awkward Nick Miller, panic moonwalk. I can't believe it. I just got home from this and I'm so mad. My mom already told me she will make sure Child Protection Services will be involved here. I don't like this story already. I'm a 22-year-old guy who lives in Europe. I'm still living with my parents as I don't see any reason to move out anytime soon. The longer I live here, the more money I can save and the more I have when I move out. We live in a house with 4 other families. We are good friends with the neighbors next door, but my parents don't have the best relations with the neighbors upstairs. They have a 5-year-old daughter who I only talked to a few times. From what I know, she is in daycare after school so that someone takes care of her until her parents get her. However, it seems that today she went home by herself even though she wasn't allowed to do that because they were concerned she might get kidnapped or anything. What an irony for what happened next. To teach her a lesson, her parents drove her to another town, gave her a bit of money, and told her to find a way home if she is so capable of taking care of herself, and then they drove off. She didn't know about the bus and train timetables, nor did she know anything. She was just left there. She's 5? This is a 5-year-old kid? Now let's get to me. I just left my workplace to get home. I don't have a driver's license yet, even though I'm currently trying to get one. But for now, I still have to use the train. Luckily for her, my workplace was in the same town that her parents abandoned her at. She found her way to the train station, but didn't know what to do next. She saw me when I was just ordering some food from a food stand at the train station and shook my arm. I was surprised to see her. How freaking serendipitous to just randomly find this guy who lived in her building in another town. I noticed she had teary eyes. She had cried recently. I asked her what she was doing here and she told me everything and asked if she could stay with me. I agreed to let her stay with me and we drove home together. It was even more effed up to let her stay in this town in particular because in order to get home by train, you would have to switch trains twice on the way. There was just no way a little child like her could have done that. When we got home, I told my mom and we confronted our neighbors about it and her mother opened the door. We yelled at her, what was she thinking? And she explained that this was a lesson her daughter needed to learn and explained what she did. She didn't show any sign of guilt. Even after we reminded her that leaving her daughter alone in a strange town shortly after complaining she might get herself kidnapped is a bit hypocritical to say the least. So we will get CPS involved. She and her husband willingly put her daughter's life in danger. I feel bad for her daughter. She will be traumatized by this. Sure, she shouldn't have walked home by herself if that was the rule, but they went too far with their punishment. What bothers me even more is the fact that I failed my practical test for my driver's license a few days ago. If I had passed that, I wouldn't have been there to take her home, and she would have still been there herself. Okay, these people are ASCON 1 dipshit, not worthy of having a child in their lives, asshole, evil, shit brick, worthless human beings. You know how terrified I would be if a 5-year-old kid was able to leave preschool and walk home themselves, like was able to do that. So many red flags would go up. I would be concerned for their safety. I wouldn't be mad at them. I would be so flipping out that the people who are supposed to be in their life protecting them failed at their jobs. And the reaction to this is to reinforce those structures, not to try to teach this 5-year-old kid a lesson about this is bullshit. Do not like it. Not a fan of this kind of shit. The fact that they were willing to do this means that they did not care if they ever saw her again. That's the bottom line. This child, for their own safety, cannot stay there. Hopefully CPS jumps in and gets her out of this situation because these people do not give any shits at all. They were probably hoping they never saw her again, and that is so fucked up. That's where it gets so freaking tricky, right? Because we have so many kids in situations like this out there that we can't save. That we can't, until something like this happens, you can't save them. And it's just heartbreaking to know that every day. And so the flip side of that coin is like so grateful to have stable homes and families to be able to support our own kids in and know that we're able to give them that. It is just, it's infuriating. It is infuriating. And the things that I would do to people like this, we can't talk about, but it pisses me off.